Hello and welcome to the Marketing Suite guide for final checklists on info builds for Marketing Suite clients. This is a guide that's intended to help you get to grips with some of the areas of an info build that you need to check are completed correctly using the info build checklist template, which you'll fill out. And from there, you'll just go through some of the processes that we need to check off to make sure that all the requirements that we have for an info build to go live for a client have actually been met. And so nothing's going to hopefully sort of go wrong once the website's live, and we can just monitor the website's progress as it starts to rank on Google, and yeah, it just continues to be used as a client's website. So there are a few things we have to check before the website goes live to make sure these requirements have been met. I'll just briefly take you to the original info build launch checklist that we used to have. Some of these areas may be familiar to you. It doesn't really matter if you haven't done this original checklist before, because it's actually there are a few more things that have been since added to the new website, to the new checklist that you'll do. But if you're familiar with this checklist already, that's a good start, but don't worry if it doesn't look familiar to you. So the first step that I'll take you to is obviously you'd make sure that you got the checklist ready, but in Slack, this is the website final sign-off channel in Slack specifically. This is where you'll find the website that's actually been assigned to you to review. So as you can see, there's a few different websites here, and they all have listed the name of the website and the URL on the URL address that you can find the website. Most of them have new dev MS behind them, or they have a little curly symbol, the curly dash symbol. That's just another sign that it's in a staging environment. And the dev marketing suite staging.com.au URL is another indicator they're all staging. But generally, all of these websites will be either staging websites or versions of live websites with a new dev directory within them. So basically, yeah, you're going to be making sure that these websites can go live, and if they're in a staging environment, once you've checked them off correctly, the websites will be rolled over onto a live site and no longer in a staging environment. So you'd just be checking off to make sure all these areas are required. So today we're going to focus on this client, and once I minimize that, here's the checklist. So as we can see in the top cells on the left, so B3 would put the name of the actual client under business name and their URL. The URL, you can probably drop the new dev MS address, because that obviously won't be the website once it goes live. But if you're just in them just using a staging website like this one, then you can just copy and paste that one there. So that will work fine as the URL for the client in this case, because they don't have a live website. That's basically what it's saying. And then you just want to make sure that once you've duplicated, so this is the template that I'm working on. You'll be duplicating this obviously and then putting it into a new folder, which is called completed info builds and checklists. I might be able to show you that now if we go to move and then just hit this button that opens it up. So basically you'll be coming to this screen first. I can just left click it, right click it, and then go make copy. I'll make the copy of this one, rename it obviously, so I'd get rid of template and XY business, so it'd just be info build final checklist, and then the client's name there is fine. Only put it in the folder above it obviously once it's completed, because that's reserved for checklists that have been completed, but that's where it's going to go. So you'll tick all those boxes once you've done that, and then you'll be putting in your name and the date, which you can just do with control and colon, and that'll open it up. That'll insert today's date, whichever day you're working on it. Once you've done all of those steps, you can just tick them and move on to the next page. So in the next page, you just be putting your name under G5. That's your full name, obviously, as well as your initials here with the date there as well, just to say the time that you got started on it. Hopefully it will be something that doesn't carry over multiple days anyway, but it's just an idea of when the website was, things in the website were last checked off successfully. So the client name is pretty straightforward. You got the client name, you got your name as the developer name, you've got the CRR, and the CRR should generally be the person that's uploaded it to this Slack channel, but may not be necessarily. So if you're not really sure on that, you can absolutely check it with either your supervisor or one of the CRRs, but generally it will be the person that's posted it to that channel. So then you have the date as well, which is just, as we said, control and colon, which puts in the date there. So as we're going through, we have all plugins have been updated before the checklist. So I'll go back to my example of a client, just zoom out a little bit. So you're just coming down to plugins, obviously. You'll probably find that quite a few plugins are there on the website, but they're not actually activated, and that's because there's a whole bunch of default plugins that we don't need activated when we're building, especially Yoast. Yoast will be a crucial one that you can activate. If you do find that Yoast is not activated, you can absolutely just tick activate on that plugin so that you can start work with it very soon. So these are basically a lot of the core plugins that you'll find on a staging website, but they won't be activated. So what you can do to update them is just click this tick here and then click on the drop down options, and then you've got update. So you click update and apply. I'm not going to do that now, but that's the easiest way for you to start updating all the plugins. And we want them updated because if there's been any changes to the plugin since development had started, then we just want to make sure that we're going live with the website in its newest form that it can be. So that's a very easy step to tick off. So as task 6, you have check if client has a current website. And we do this for SEO purposes. So we want to make sure that any of the pages that they have, like service pages, or if they've had any previous SEO work done for them and they've got pages ranking, that those pages are actually recreated on the staging website that we've built. So yeah, it's just a case of, I've got Timber Flooring Unlimited, so just going into Google, Timber Flooring. I believe our client, has since gone live with the website. So I'll just be ignoring that link for now. But when you're Googling the client's website, if you see their URL come up, then you're going to go into their website and just see if they've got any service pages or SEO pages. And if so, you'll probably want to just flag them with the CRR to say, hey, these pages should have been built and they're not, but if they have been built successfully, then that's fine. You can just mark that with a tick. So that's basically what that step is saying too. Have we, task 7 is saying, have we replicated those service pages and SEO pages, if there are any, on the new site? So that'll be fine. So all requirements from the original proposal for the website have been met. So generally, when I'm doing a final checklist for a client's website, I'll actually get in touch with the CRR straight away and just say, hey, can you please send me a copy of the client's original proposal for me to get started. Yep, which you can actually see me doing there. So as soon as I started working this, I was knowing that I would need the original proposal to check against. And once you have the proposal, generally I will look at 2 parts of the proposal. If I'm going to open one up, it'll help me maybe really explain it very clearly. So specifically, the part of the proposal that I'm looking for are 2 sections. There's the there's going to be the sitemap, which will actually detail all of the pages that need to be in the client's website. And then there's also a breakdown, which will list any plugin functionality that needs to be in there as well. So if I skip down to this one, I'll go to the sitemap. So this is, the homepage is just the page you're going to land on. And then we have a bit of a navigation structure broken down here for us as well. So you have an about drop down, so there'll be a link at the top that should say about, and then it should be a page in itself. So the drop down itself is also a button that links to a website, but it also has another drop down of meet the team, and then yeah, it's just going to be about the team as page. So these were lists of, just make sure you read all the cells carefully. This is just a note on the construction time of the page, so that's fine. But you're going to have an about drop down that's got the a page that says about us and a page that says meet the team. So there's at least 2 pages that need to be in the website, followed by residential drop down, which needs all of these pages. And you can see each one says page after it. So I need a drop down of residential that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. Then there's a commercial page and a contact page. And the footer needs a link to the privacy policy. The footer will also have links to the rest of these pages as well. But in one page from the proposal, I now have an idea of all the pages that need to be in there on the website. And these are pages I should be reviewing as well. So this is why one of the reasons we review the proposal. Another reason is also just to check if there are any add-ons required. So there are plugins that are going to have some kind of functionality. These can include things like quotes. If you've got a shop, or even if you don't necessarily have a shop, but you just want the ability to display quotes to clients, so that they're not actually going through a payment gateway, but they're just getting a quote for a certain job done for them. It could be anything like a color picker. If you're got a painter client, maybe they want to show all the colors that they can display to a client. They can be things that involve databases as well, or Google Maps. A store locator is a very common one that a lot of clients have. And if you are scrolling through the proposal and you see under add-ons, it's got something like store locator, you've got to make sure that that plugin is not only added to the website and installed, but it's fully optimized in terms of mobile, and it's actually functional, like it's working with Google with a proper API key to display all the stores that it needs to. So yeah, it's important to review the proposal as well. Minimize all this. So then that was step 8, and then you've got step 9, which is the page has been added to the website final sign-off, which is very easy to tick because generally that's how the whole process starts anyway. So as long as this is in here, you can just tick that box and move on. So then you have the preferred client contact detail. Generally, this was everything that we just went through there was basically a version of what we used to go through in this checkbox on the old one. And now, yeah, we're going through this checkbox on the new checklist as well. But basically, all the information that you're getting here should be available in the contact page of the client's website, but also check it against their live website if they do have one, or if they've got like a Facebook page or anything that's live that's got the actual details of the client. Even job packs, if you've got any job packs that you've been sending out as part of your scheduling for internationals so that they can get on with their work. If you've got any documents that actually say things like the opening times and the phone numbers and the website URLs, just go through and make sure that all those details are put in here. So as you can see, if they've got a live website right now, you can put their website URL in there. If they've got a physical address, so in this case I've just put marketing suite address, you just put that in. Please put it in the same format as I've written there with the street address, suburb, state, and postcode. Phone number, email, fax number you'll probably never have to do. If you do have a situation where you don't have something like fax, and fax is sort of fading out now, just put NA, because that's very clear that you don't need that. Because it's only if applicable as well. And then you've got the phone number, you've got the opening hours for the client. So just to clarify here, we generally expect it to be a 9 to 5 thing Monday to Friday, and Saturday and Sunday will have closed and closed written there for both of those days. If you have different times, of course, then you can just write them in. Just don't forget the AM and the PM and the dash in the middle. If the client is purely online and they're never closed, you can just write in this box here, online hours never close or 24/7, and then just leave these blank because you've written an explanation there as to why you can't complete the Monday to Friday opening and closing time, so that's fine. I will see you in part 2.